fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am happy in inviting you all for the 571st meeting of Medley Toastmasters Club. I am Sharanya, Sergeant Atom of Medley Toastmasters Club. The mission of Toastmasters is to provide a mutually supportive and a positive learning environment in which every member gets an opportunity to improve their communication and leadership skills, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth. In every Toastmasters meeting, we follow three ground rules. Rule 1 is please maintain silence throughout the meeting. If you are not speaking, please go on mute. I see many of them are not mute, so please go on mute. If you wanted to move around, please turn off your video. The second rule is please avoid taboo topics such as sex, religion, and politics. And the third rule is in every Toastmasters meeting, all the members are supposed to join the meeting in a formal attire. So please do join the meeting in a formal attire. With this, I would like to hand over meeting to distinguished Toastmaster Thomas Abraham, sir. A small introduction about Thomas, sir. So he is a corporate communicator for life, and he is a former special director of Ashok Leyland and a former senior vice president of Hinduja Group. And he is a proud Marillion from 1st January 2015. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Thomas Abraham, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam Sergeant Tom, for such a mental tonic of an introduction this afternoon. With the imaginary sound of this invisible gavel, I declare Medley meeting number 571 open. Good afternoon, dear Medleyans. Happy to acknowledge the presence of a few dignitaries, starting with Charter Member and D8 District 82 Mentoring Chair, DTM Saurirajan, former President of Medley and former Division Governor, DTM Guruprasad Padmanabhan is likely to join any time now, and former President of Medley and current Assistant Judge of District 82, DTM Sunil Jose. Welcome all of you. Happy also to welcome our newest member, Pavitra Sridhar. Request all of you to acknowledge her with an applause. Thank you. Now that we don't have guests yet, let me go back to history. In 1905, at the Bloomington, Illinois YMCA, Ralph Medley set up the Toastmasters Club. To be precise, on March 24, 1905. But he failed to sustain that. Then he moved to different cities of America. And in 1924, he took a job at the YMCA in Santa Ana, California. 19 years after he failed with Toastmasters, again on October 22, 1924, he tried again, and that club eventually became club number 1 of Toastmasters International. Now, we have some young members. Any of our members who joined us in the year 2020, could you tell me, if you have an answer, you could unmute and tell me why we call ourselves Toastmasters? Anyone? All right, no problem. Toastmasters here refers to the person who offers a toast at events, including wedding receptions. Moving forward, Smedley kept his day job at the YMCA, but spent the evenings for Toastmasters, like many of us do. Not me, many of you who are in an active career, juggling the two. He kept on writing articles on the art of public speaking. His theory about good speaking is most relevant today. Therefore, I dug into it and I'm going to share it with you. Simply put, he said that a person should address a group as if addressing a single person. For radio talks, which was very popular then, he said, each listener should feel as if he was that single audience of one. Think about it. In these days of lockdown and video conferencing, what are we trying to do? We are looking into the camera and talking to that one person, one imaginary speaker, so that listener, so that everybody in the audience feels you are speaking to them. That's the thing about great things. Great things are simple. That's also why such an elementary idea has takers in 142 countries. Super innovations are often simple ideas that have found their teammates. All one really needs to know about public speaking, one can learn from Ralph Bentley. Now, if I sounded like something you heard recently, that's because today's Toastmaster of the Day has thrown in a similar sounding topic for us. Our Toastmaster for the day is special. She is a district finalist in prepared speeches who recently wowed the audience with her micro emotions, expressions, and movements. She is also the division finalist in evaluation and humorous contests. The epitome of grace and poise, like people taking out the Kanjivaram saris on special occasions, we look up to her to be the MC at special occasions like milestone meetings. Over to you, Toastmaster Priyadashini Bellur, to take things forward.
Thank you so much. Now this job has become very tough for me to handle because of such good, heavy introduction. It was truly wonderful, sir, and thank you so much for such a lovely introduction. Very good afternoon, and I welcome you all to this very special kindergarten session. Now, you all might be wondering why I chose this topic. All that I wanted to learn, I learned it in kindergarten. Yes, it's very true that we learn most of the things when we were very small. It's not that when we go to graduation school, we start gaining that wisdom, but it is said everything starts when you start playing in that sandbox that's right at the age of kindergarten. What we were taught at that age was how to live, what to do, how to be. Everything was told to us when we were very small. There is a saying in Kannada. It says, "Mooru varushada buddhi, nooru varusha tanaka." That which is taught to us at the age of 3 remains with us till we turn 100. So, Moru and Nuru are rhyming in Kannada language. So, that's so true. And whatever is imprinted at a very tender age, it stays with us for lifelong. And that's the impact we have when we are very small. Now, the question is, what is that we learned in kindergarten and which carries for years together? It may sound very simple, but as we keep growing, we need to understand the deeper value of these simple sentences. Our teachers, our parents kept saying this every day. Simple things like share everything, don't hit others, say sorry when you hurt someone, clean up your own mess, don't touch things that aren't yours, and wash your hands before you eat. And that means that simple things which were taught to us when we were in kindergarten. I think as I go uh, to every level, I will be explain more about the learnings, what we learned at that younger age. Now it's time for me to introduce the general evaluator, person who does not need any introduction, who is well known in Toastmasters. Yes, one of our past president who has also taken very big roles. If I'm, please correct me if I'm wrong, he's called as the chief judge in our Toastmasters fraternity last year. He's also a lawyer by profession. Let us welcome our general evaluator, DTM Sunil Jules.
Thank you, Priya. Am I audible? Okay, thank you so much, Priya, for the wonderful introduction. And today, as she had already explained it, I am a general evaluator. So, general evaluation is a very big, crucial element in a Toastmasters meeting because of the evaluation. Evaluation is the thing which actually help us to learn from Toastmasters meeting, speech after speech. So, for me, My purpose is to evaluate this meeting from the beginning. Already I started that, so till the end, and then give an analysis at the end of this meeting. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I'm getting a message, but am I too much? I mean, am I too loud? Because yeah, that's okay. That's fine, right? That's a manufacturing defect. I'm not unable to rectify. Okay, so for me, the evaluation goes is not a one-man show. It's actually two teams are assisting me in my role as general evaluator. So the one team is tag team, and the second one is evaluation team. So let me tell you about the tag team. Tag stands for timer, accounter, and grammarian. So I will introduce one by one to you. So today, the timer's role, which is one of the most crucial roles in a Toastmaster meeting. The timer role is being played by Toastmaster Rangarajan. So Toastmaster Rangarajan does not need an introduction. He's a person who believes that acquiring friends in each decade of his life and staying in touch with them till today is the backbone of his life. So he's the secretary elect of our club for the next term starting in July. And I request Toastmaster Rangarajan to read out his roles and responsibilities as a timer.
Thank you, General Toastmaster Sunil. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a timer, my role is to remind all the speakers of how much time they spend on their speech so that we run this meeting on time. Today, the length of the prepared speeches is varied. While Toastmaster Ashwin has a time of 5 to 7 minutes, Toastmaster Shankar has a time of 3 to 5 minutes, and Toastmaster Jagan has a time of 8 to 10 minutes. What I will do is, as and when we get closer to the time, I will show a green card when the time reaches their appropriate time by showing the virtual background as green, and then change it to yellow, and later on to red. Each time, this will be followed by a buzzer sound. Can you hear the buzzer sound?
Yes.
Okay. So this will be the buzzer sound for the prepared speeches. For the table topic speeches, it will be from 2 to 3 minutes. The colors will change green, amber, and red at 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, and 2 minutes, followed by the buzzer sound. And for the evaluators, it will be 2 to 3 minutes. The green on the buzzer at 2 minutes, amber and buzzer at 2.5, and red and buzzer at 3 minutes. So as soon as the timings are, as soon as the prepared speeches are over, when the general evaluator calls me, I will read out the timings. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rangarajan, for explaining your roles and responsibilities as a timer. So the next team member from the tag team is accounter. Today's accounter for today's meeting is Toastmaster Sudhamurthy. Toastmaster Sudhamurthy is a recent member of our club, and he is as a person who picked up the quality of curiosity to know new things from her childhood, and who is diligently following that habit even now. Toastmaster Sudhamurthy works as a section officer in Tamil Nadu Government Higher Education Department. I request Toastmaster Sudhamurthy to read her roles and responsibilities as an accounter. Over to you.
Thank you, GE, for the nice introduction. I am the accountant for the meeting today. My role as an accountant is to count, crunch, repeat, pass, and filler words used by the speakers and role players. I will be observing and taking note of the filler words like you know, like, etc. These are the filler words that affect the effectiveness of the speech. I will present my report when called upon by the general evaluator. Over to you, GE.
Thank you, Sudha, for that great introduction. Great introduction of your roles and responsibilities. And now we will move to the third main person of this, the pillar of the meeting is grammarian. A grammarian for today's meeting is Toastmaster Saravanan. So Toastmaster Saravanan hails from Coimbatore, the previous Coimbatore, and now they changed the name. So I'm getting used to that to pronounce it. So Coimbatore, I guess. So he's a native of Coimbatore, settled, and but now he's settled down in Adyar. Thank God, Adyar's name is not changed. So he settled in Adyar for the past decade and a half, and he's an IT professional with the Ford company and a recent joinee in Medley Toastmasters, but he's actively participate in our meetings and takes a lot of roles. So, he's had a habit of tapping the runner's bat after every run or stroke when he plays cricket. So, in fact, he picked up his this habit from his childhood, and he even follows. He knows that that's a superstition according to him, but still he follows that because he picked up it from as a habit from his childhood. Now he is the current, he is the vice president membership elect for the next term of Medley Toastmasters Club. I request Toastmaster Saravanan to read out his roles and responsibilities as a grammarian and introduce the word of the day. Over to you, Saravanan.
Thank you, DTM Sunil, for a nice introduction. As a grammarian, my role is to pay close attention to all the speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I will take note of any misusage of the English language as well as the outstanding usage. As you know, Toastmasters is all about communication, and when we communicate in whatever language, it needs to be correct. So as a grammarian, my role is to ensure that the correct usage is used in this entire session as such. So as a grammarian, my role is also to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day today for today's meeting is foundation. Foundation is the word of the day, which means an underlying basis or principle. Some examples of using the word are: all theories should be built on a foundation of factual knowledge. The second usage can be: Toastmasters provide solid foundation on the basics of communication. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day in their speeches. So I will also note down the word of the day whenever you speak on any topic. I will present my end report when called upon by the general evaluator. All to the general evaluator of the day.
Thank you. Thank you, Saravanan, for explaining the roles and responsibilities. With this, all the three tag team members have put a strong foundation for starting the meeting. So, and then I'm also, I mean, I have to leave right now. I mean, and hand over to our Toastmaster of the day. And don't be happy, I'll come back again, and the team will be presenting their reports at the end of the meeting. I will also be reporting, giving a report at the end of the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Priya.
Okay. Okay. Oh, where did I put it? Oh no. Okay. I wanted to share a screen. Did you get a chance to see that slideshow?
So it has been a really
Yes. Are you able to see this? Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, good. Now these are, in my team, I have 6 kids who have passed the kindergarten with flying colors. Now I'm going to play a game with you all before I call the first speaker. It may be a random person, and it's not as per the slot we have 1, 2, 3. I'm going to narrate a story, and I want you all to identify to which kid am I referring? Okay, I want you all to, if you are not able to tell the name, you can give me sign like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is also going to work. You may not have to unmute yourself. Please listen to the story carefully, and you have to identify which is the kid I'm referring to. Okay, a very brave kid. The story is here. It was a vacation time, April 1st. April 1st is April Fool's Day. This kid was at his aunt's place. What this kid did was, he dipped in water the postcard. The postcard, he dipped it in the water, erased the ink mark, and he wrote a letter on it as if it were from her sister. I mean, the auntie's sister, saying her family was coming on a visit. Those days, there were no refrigerator. So his auntie got fish, chicken, and she cooked all the, food, and she kept waiting for her sister, for the guest to arrive. The guest did not come, and who got to eat the food? It was this kid. Can you guess whom am I referring to? We have 6 kids in this, the grown Toastmasters now, but I want you all to tell whom am I referring to. The best.
Sunil
Yeah.
Jose.
Okay, I got 1, 2 answers. Yeah, I want sign even 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to work. Fast.
Yeah, something as notorious like this, Sunil is capable, definitely.
Who is that?
Sunil Jose.
Yeah,
Go on.
Sunil.
Sunil, yes.
Okay.
He is laughing.
Okay, you all are absolutely wrong. It is DT Thomas Abraham. A big round of applause. Okay, so you all fail in this kindergarten first test. So it's time for me to introduce the first speaker. The first speaker is Toastmaster Ashwin Anand. I would request his evaluator Ram Prasad to please read the objectives.
Thank you, Priya. Toastmaster Ashwin is attempting his second speech in this path. So it is an evaluation and feedback, the first speech. The purpose of the speech is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive a feedback and apply the feedback to a second speech. And he will present a topic now and receive a feedback from the evaluator in this session. Over to you, Priya. All the best, Ashwin.
Okay. Ashwin, your speech title, Keep Moving. Keep moving. Over to you, Ashwin.
Life is like a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving, says Albert Einstein. Thank you, Trimodi Priya. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. The next few minutes of my speech is dedicated to the following categories of people. For those who find life is challenging, for those who expect more challenges in life, for those who are not satisfied with an ordinary life, for those who keep walking with ethics and integrity in spite of all challenges around, and most importantly, for those who stand for what is right compared to what is easy. I would just like to share a small incident during my school days where, like, academically, I was actually quite poor during my school days and was quite notorious also during my school days. And by the grace of God, when I crossed 9th standard, 10th standard, I realized the importance of values and ethics purely by the grace of God. And 11th standard, one small incident happened. What happened was, like, before the final exam, just before the previous night, my final exam question paper got leaked. One of my friends called and said, the question paper for tomorrow exam got leaked, and which means it got out. And we can together we can study. He called me over phone. He said, make a note of these questions. I know definitely it is not ethical, and it's very easy to make a note of it. It said, like, let me not take it. Even though I was definitely not very, very good in academics, I thought, like, that's not the way to go about it. And many of my elders also said, it is fine. In fact, many of my elders said, you can study those papers and as well as what you have prepared also. I still remember the next day morning when I went to the school, I was able to visualize everybody around me were having those questions and preparing with those questions. And I didn't want to look at those questions. And I did what possible for me by myself, whatever I prepared. And I did decently well. I'm not sure whether the question paper which got leaked came exactly that paper came or not, but that doesn't matter. But what matters most is a satisfaction that I carry till this point of time. That I kept moving the right path by the grace of God, I should definitely say. And in fact, even a lot of my teachers wrote me off in my school days. They said, like, you'll not be able to do well, better in life and all those things. In fact, many of my teachers' children have been doing internship with me in my organization right now. One of the famous quote of Fulton Sheen always comes into my mind, the author Fulton Sheen, who says, right is right even if nobody does it, and the wrong is wrong even if everybody do it. And when we know what we are doing is right, it's always, we need to very, very strongly, we need to keep moving the respective path of this particular, the right path. And even in corporate life, many of us would have felt when we walk into the right path, many times we may not have company, but moving and keep moving in the right path, the satisfaction which it gives us is immense, extremely immense. I would like to share a small incident which happened last week. In fact, we run a wealth management firm, and we just a couple of weeks back, we tied up with one of the biggest research institutions in the world. It's called Morningstar. And we can generate a lot of different wealth reports. And last Sunday evening, 8 o'clock, I had a presentation to make, a very important presentation to a set of my clients. And we had to do quite a few documentation work before that. And this person from the International Institute should call us and our team to guide how to do it. But he was not able, we are not able to contact him. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days, we are not able to contact him. Sunday evening, 8 o'clock was the program. But we kept doing the other documentation part. We kept on doing. If he had not called us, if he doesn't connect with us, it'll be very difficult for us to do the presentation. We kept on doing the basic works around that. And exactly by 6:30, he called. And he said, due to certain personal reasons, he was not able to connect. And he said, like, right now we'll go in for it. And since we had all the documentations ready, we were able to generate the report, and it was a very good impact. It created a very, very good impact for my clients. And the presentation was extremely successful. If we had not done the documentation part, if you had thought whether this person is going to call us or not, how this is going to go, if I just left out during this documentation part, we wouldn't have been able to complete the presentation. Last minute, just 1.5 hours before he called up, and it was quite successful. And one very important aspect in life is, as I was sharing with you, is in spite of a lot of challenges around, to keep moving with ethics and integrity. Probably the topic should have been to keep moving in ethics. That's what I want. I didn't want to make it too prolonged. One very important speech which always comes into my mind is a very common speech of Winston Churchill. When things are very, very challenging around us, he always says, this particular speech always comes into mind. Where when he told the speech during a World War II, I just like to quote a few lines of this, where he said, "We shall go on to the end. We shall fight. We shall fight on the seas and the oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills, and we shall never surrender." One very, very important aspect I cherish in my life is, by the grace of God, I would definitely like to share, moving in the right direction and moving with ethics and values are something very, very important. At that point of time, we might feel there are not much company around us. There are not many people traveling around us. That could be a lot of criticism, and people might many times laugh at us. But when we walk in the right path, when we keep moving, in spite of various hurdles around us, the satisfaction that we carry at this point of time is extremely immense. And I would like to leave all of you with these 4 lines from Martin Luther King, which any situation in life, any point of time when we find life is challenging, when things are not really extremely glorious around us, just imagine these 4 lines. He says, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving. Over to Team Odi, Priya. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwin, for inspiring us to walk on the right path. It was really, really good. It's time for me to share the screen again, and I want you all to guess.
Sorry to interrupt. Just one thing. Timer, could you hold on the red card until the speaker ends? Until the speech ends? In this particular speech, you held the red card and then the red card was down. So I would suggest in the coming 2 speeches, you hold the red card till the speech is completed.
I will do the needful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, back to our kindergarten kids. My second story is this way. He is known as a crying boy. He took all attention from his sister. There was one TV show known as Jasus Vijay on DD. Jasus means detective. It was a detective show which he used to watch with his family, and that was the coolest thing of childhood. So can you tell who is this crying baby I'm referring to? Come on, fast, fast, fast. Any sign? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6.
Is it Jagannathan?
Oh, yes. Thomas sir is going to give you some lovely gifts for this right answer.
Thank you.
Okay. Sir, you heard me, right? Okay, it's time to move on to the second speaker. Our second speaker is Toastmaster Shankar. Before I call Shankar, I would like his evaluator Rohit Madappa to please read out the objective. Rohit, evaluator Rohit. Can you please?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I was speaking mute.
Okay.
Sorry. Very good afternoon. Today, my target speaker that is Toastmaster Shankar is delivering his speech. His speech from dynamic leadership, level 1. Level 3 and project 1 deliver social speeches. So the purpose of this speech is, or this project is for the member to practice delivering social speeches in front of club members. The timer, the duration of this speech is 3 to 4 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Shankar. Over to you, TMOD.
Yes. So our next speaker, Toastmaster Shankar. We can, Toastmaster Shankar.
Okay.
All the best.
Okay. Thank you, TMOD. Am I audible?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. True friends are never apart. Maybe in distance, but never in heart. Fellow Toastmaster and honorable guest, good afternoon. So today, I would like to share about my dearest friend, Manogaran. We all know that school friends are true friends in our life because they don't have any expectation from us. We have no idea of what kind of life we'll lead or what type of profession we enter in the future. We are all equal at the time. My friend Manogaran is a fair looking and handsome guy. I loved him because of his calm, composed attitude. He chose few friends to develop his friendship. I think I was lucky enough to have friend like Manogaran, and later we became a best friends. He used to come my home regularly, and in fact, my family treated him as one of the family member. We used to study at my home, and he helped me to understand the concept of commerce and accountancy subject, which resulted me 98 percentage in plus two exams. We were selected in different colleges. After completing the BCom, I was jobless for some months. I was frustrated because there were a lot of criticism from my own family. There were situations that where my family forced me to work as a car driver. I felt very sad about the situation and discussed with my friend. You don't believe that. At the time, there were no proper internet connectivity also. Within a week, he searched all accounts related jobs and made me to apply the jobs. Couple of weeks later, I got 5 calls from 5 different company and I chose one of the topmost company. So years went by. We all know that education playing a very vital role in all those days. In fact, he persuaded me to register cost accountancy course, which forced me to quit the organization I work because of the complexity of the course. The other biggest challenge was that I had totally exhausted my cash savings because I have to pay my tuition fees and also my books. Since my father had worked a foreman and had to manage 3 children plus my brother's marriage, I was running out of cash. My friend got to know my situation from one of our common friend and made and got it from the salary advance from his employer and made to appear that examination. I was so excited about the result. To celebrate his success, we had a small get together at Ananagatar. We were talking about a lot about the future. So at the time of living, a small little boy around 8 years old, his hair completely messed up and shirt was hanging untidily. A shabby face was begging for the food. So Manu gave some snacks and the boy went away. Manu felt a little sad about the situation and asked me that, Shankar, why are people like that? Why are they not getting the adequate food? And what the government was doing, I didn't have any reply at the time. But a couple of weeks later, he came to my home and told, Shankar, why don't we start an NGO which provide the support for support the food for underprivileged children, I was reluctant. But he had a strong commitment to start an NGO. I was really amazed about his determination. And at the time, since there were no internet connectivity, we didn't know how to start an NGO, how to raise and fund. But within a year later, we started an NGO called Beacon. Through S perseverance and determinations, we started raising the funds through our school teachers, college professor, and our own common friend. I still remember the first project we had up with Thiruvanmiyur, which we provided 1 month provisions for underprivileged children. We have experienced the immense happiness from the kids' face. There were no words to express. At the time, we realized the power of giving. There is a famous quote always says, beautiful flowers pick up the first. Sadly, it happens to the Manu also. He died on accident on 16th February 2004. I believe he had given me a great opportunity to take a weekend into the next level. With the help of my mentor, Venkatachalam, we are running the NGO weekend for the last 15 years. That primary focus, not only on the food, but also we extended our support to school uniform, stitches, and slippers, shelters, and also very importantly for home. So far, we had raised the fund of 20 lakh rupees, and it is benefited by 50 plus 50 plus orphanages. I think this is a very good opportunity. I would like to say, Mr. Manogaran, in this esteemed forum. Over to TM Odi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shankar. It was indeed touching, and thank you for explaining once again what it means when you say the art of giving. Okay, it was truly touching to me. Moving on to the next screen share. I hope you all are listening to my stories carefully. Okay, so here comes the next story of our kid. This kid had been for a movie theater with his family. During the middle of the movie, he lost his scooter key. Everyone started searching for it. They missed the movie for a certain period. It took quite some time to find it. Then everyone finally got the key. And they realized it was a scooter key, but that scooter was a toy. It was a toy scooter key. Can you imagine what might be the mindset of parents? So who do you think this kid might have been? Okay, I got one answer. Yes. Okay.
Jagannath.
Sorry?
Jagannath.
Yeah, Jagannathan was a crying baby then. So this is Toastmaster Ashwin. Did anyone get it right?
Yeah, I got it.
Is it? So, okay, okay. Yes, very nice. It's time for me to introduce the next speaker. Our third speaker is Toastmaster Jagannathan. I'll request his evaluator, DTM Sampath Saurajan, sir, to please read out the objectives.
Good afternoon, friends. In fact, I didn't do kindergarten in those days.
Okay.
We didn't have that directly first standard.
Yeah.
But when I joined Toastmasters, I did a Toastmaster kindergarten. In those initial years, I learned that the very foundation of a good speaker development is the CC manual. And in the CC manual, the crowning jewel is CC10. Today's speaker, Toastmaster Jagannathan, is going to inspire us with his CC10 speech. The objectives as given in the manual are to inspire the audience by appealing to noble motives and challenging the audience to achieve a higher level of beliefs or achievement. Appeal to the audience needs and emotions using stories, anecdotes, and quotes to add drama. Avoid using notes. Of course, nowadays, most people don't use notes. In Zoom meeting, nobody knows whether somebody is using notes. Timer, please note, this is a longer speech, 8 to 10 minutes. Good luck to the speaker and inspiration to all of us. Back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Yes. Toastmaster Jagannathan, jazz in a death rally. Jazz in a death rally, Toastmaster Jagannathan. All the best to you.
One morning, I was walking through an empty road. It was calm and peaceful. I could hear my own voice. Thus, I started singing. Some rats on the side path looked lifeless, probably dead. Otherwise, they would have stopped me. How many times must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must the white owl sail before she sleeps in the sand? Just as I sang, the rats woke up, packed their bags, put on their hats, took a flight, and jumped off from the airplane without the parachute. Rascal rats! Before you brush aside this story as a fairy tale, let's pause here. I was out of tune and rhythm. The rats took the correct decision of committing suicide. No doubt, I needed to improve. But that realization was only the tip of the iceberg. Irrespective of how I sang, I was happy. Walking through a silent road, singing as if no one's listening, was a pleasurable moment. Why did I enjoy it? Most of the time, we humans chase happiness, but this was simple. I contemplated for days. What I found amazed me. Flashback, the year 1999. Back then, we didn't have cable. Doordarshan was more than enough. Oliyum Oliyum was my favorite show. First track from a 1965 movie. என்ற கேள்வி என்று கேட்காமல் வாழ்க்கை இல்லை நான் என்ற எண்ணம் கொண்ட மனிதன் வாழ்ந்ததில்லை. The song is about rationality, patience, hard work, and freedom. Someone was crying in the kitchen. I went in. It was my father. Appa, why are you crying? You will realize with time, my son. That was one of the numerous old songs he cried for, and I had to realize a hell lot with time. He was not forthcoming to explain them. Rather, he would just cry. As I grew up, these songs laid the foundation of my moral compass. Flashback 2004. Appa was a central government employee, so he traveled throughout India. One morning, there was an alien language at home. Who is singing this? Lag ja gale ge fir hasi raat ho na ho shayad fir se janam mein mulaqat ho na ho. He was crying for that too. Gomati, her name was Gomati, his school lover. I must admit I've learned more Hindi from those songs than from those exams. Later, I expanded my playlist with more love songs. As I grew up, as puberty hit, all these songs helped me in expressing adolescent emotions, although alone. Flashback 2014. It's been 6 years since life changed drastically. I'd composed my first song, which became Appa's favorite. It was about love and love at first sight. Imagine for the first time finding common grounds with your father. For the first time going beyond, you will realize at the time, my son. For the first time sharing home because he was always away. And the first song you compose becomes his favorite. And imagine amidst all this, for the first time in his life, death happens. It was a scorching afternoon. I was waiting in the counseling room of the Miyot hospitals regarding his health. I saw an anxious man beside me. A sorrow was apparent on his face. I moved my hands over his shoulder and asked about his despair. He explained that his mother had been taken into the ICU for critical care. and anguished that he might lose her because it was a riskier operation. I presumed that he was a Muslim because facial hair without the mustache. I tried my best to console him. My dear friend, don't lose hope. Allah is there. You will get through these frightening hours. 2 hours later, he came running with a huge smile. The operation was successful. Thank you, my dear friend. May I know your good name? I am Jagan. Yours? He replied to my surprise, I am Anthony. He replied to my surprise. There I was, a Hindu, encouraging a Christian about his mother's health, saying Allah will help us all. Of course, I didn't understand this. Then later, on a Gandhi Jayanti, a Gujarati song opened my eyes. Vaishnava Jannato Tene Kahiye Jan Pid Puraye Jane Re. The poet explains that a true Vaishnava praises and tolerates the entire world, helps those who are in misery, and understands the pain of others. Last year, I read a Persian poem titled Bani Adam. The poet explains that if one organ of the body is in pain, the rest of the organs suffer severe strain. If we have no empathy for human pain, the name of human we cannot retain. What I offered to Anthony was only a fraction of human potential, but these poets painted a saintly picture of what we are capable of. Appa breathed his last that year. Suddenly, all the emotions and imaginations I had vanished. How do I grieve then? I imported music from the British. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she's standing right in front of me, whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And as I let it be, I saw another death rally alongside the road. Now, death rallies in the South are exciting. Dancing, drumming, drinking, and the bluish jazz music. It's the package of thrill, sorrow, happiness, bereavement, and fulfillment. Is it not what life is? Aren't our lives identical to jazz in a death rally? My dear friends, art has helped me understand myself and the life as I know it, be it morality, love, loss, spirituality, and the world. The last 3 months have been exhausting for all of us. Loneliness might have conquered our minds. We would have desperately wanted to be loved and to belong. Would you all close your eyes for a moment? Just listen to it. Don't think this to be kiddish, just listen. If you were moved by Tagore, go to your terrace tonight. Look up and ponder upon what connects you to the world. What connects you to those stars billions of kilometers away? What gives you true happiness? Be it poetry, storytelling, acting, or writing. If it's poetry, better take a notepad and fill it with your creativity. If it's storytelling, start weaving magical stories. If it's acting, better be on the stage and not in the audience. And if it's family, better be spending more time with them than on laptops. In the race for status, money, and privilege, we often chase happiness while it's not something to be chased, is it? In my understanding, the pursuit of happiness is full of art. We can understand the world better through art. for it quenches our thirst for spiritual belonging. A lonely walk with a Raja cuddling your senses is all that it takes. Dear friends, I call upon you to take that lonely walk and experience the jars of life. Will you, Madam Toastmaster? Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jagannathan, for this musical speech. And thank you so much for lifting the spirits. Thank you. It was truly wonderful. Okay, friends, it's time for me to do my job again. Back with my story. Identify the next hero. This kid is was known as a very lovable child. In fact, he was like Onida TV. If you remember, it said neighbors envy, owner's pride. Yes, the same Onida TV, because the definition changes here. He says he was other mother's envy and his mom's pride. Can you all identify to whom am I referring to?
If it's Onita TV, it's Sunil Jose.
Oh God, big round of applause. Many people had the right answer. It has to be, there has to be some connection with Onita TV. And
because the person who comes on the Onita ad looks like Sunil Jose.
I didn't know this secret. I don't know. I need to get the right answer from
he is without horns.
He is without horns. Yeah. He'll be bald horn with a tail.
Yeah. No,
doesn't have all those things.
Onida TV's advertisement, neighbors envy, owner's pride. Yes. You got full marks here, DTM Sunil Jose. Moving on to the next speaker. This is very interesting because it's a TT session come speech. To give more clarity on this, I will ask our evaluator, DTM Guru Prasad, to give more clarity on DTM Thomas Abraham's speech. Over to you.
Thank you very much, CM Modi. Distinguished Toastmaster Thomas Abraham will be playing the role of Table Topics Master today. The purpose of this project for him today is to demonstrate his ability to listen to what others say. Over to you, TM Modi.
Okay, now I request DTM Thomas Abraham, sir, to start with his presentation master level 3 active listening. Over to you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, TM Modi. Good afternoon, friends. Today, we're going to have a different type of TT speech. TT without TT. Now, what is that? The usual rules are valid. 1 minute, the green comes. That's the minimum for qualification. 1 minute, 30 seconds, the yellow comes. And at 2 minutes, the red comes. You still have another 30 seconds to wind up. What is TT without TT? Any guesses? Don't you worry. This refers to table topics without taboo topics. These are not the usual taboo topics. These are taboo topics of the day, namely COVID-19, coronavirus, pandemic, infection, lockdown, quarantine, and the most abominable set of words called new normal. If any speaker uses any of these words, the audience will shout, otherwise I will shout, and that speaker will have to stop then and there, even without the interruption of the timer. Is the game clear, friends?
Yes, sir.
Good, thank you. Here we go. The first speaker is evaluator turned speaker, Renu Narayanan. Question for you. A new skill you learned in the last 70 days? Renu Narayan.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Am I clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. New skill, I would say plenty of new skills, mostly to do with technology. I've always been wary of technology, but I think these 70 days have helped me to learn a lot about it. Luckily, my techie, my daughter is here, and so I learned how to shoot my own videos. I learned how to upload them. I learned how to start a YouTube channel, especially for my storytelling, because I find that I'm not able to go out and meet children. And now I've also started online storytelling. So I think a lot of skills to do with technology. And that's something that is definitely needed today because I'm stuck at home with nothing much to do. It keeps me going. I create new stories. I've started writing my own stories. And I have also started uploading stories that I've written myself. I've received a lot of good feedback. So I think this period has been pretty good for me. I'm enjoying the stay at home and using all the skills that I've learned. So it's been pretty much a very good time for me. So I would say that this time has been well spent. I can't see the timer, so I have no idea whether I've gone over time, within time. I have no idea. So I'll stop here.
Green.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Renu. I think that's a very inspiring speech to start off. I think you're showing the way how you can learn new skills and put to use. I think that's a cornerstone of your your speech. Thank you very much. By now, we move on to the next speaker. I would like to introduce a guest who has been a Toastmaster for long. More about him we will hear later. I would call upon Mr. Kumar Mani to take this topic. Are you in, sir?
Thank you, sir.
Great. Your topic is the stars shine the brightest on the darkest nights. All yours.
Wonderful. Thank you, Toastmaster. Stars shine the brightest in the darkest nights. Obviously, the beauty of this whole world is that you tend to see and focus more when you're less amount of distraction. But in today's time that we have today, there is so much distraction available. How else can you go ahead and focus? But when you have an idea that you would like to basically do something and you don't know what to do, you focus, and at that time you find the smallest of lights, a lamp, a light, a star will actually come up and focus your eye, and really before your eyes become zoom and blossom and come up with this full flare. So that is exactly what I have been experiencing in the last 10 years that I have basically moved from various parts of the world. I found that when things are really, really dark, meaning you don't know where to go, you start focusing. You'll be finding out that from nowhere, a smallest light does come up and you're able to basically go and focus on it. And before you know, you really have them bright in front of you and sometimes inspiring you what next to do at the time. This is the beauty of that. So I would say today, Toastmaster, that in whatever time that we are and we're going to be in future, as long as we're able to focus, even the smallest lamp or light which is in our sky, we'll be finding out that really the sky brightens up and we find our way forward with the least amount of worry. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Mani. You very nicely sidestepped the 70 days so that you didn't trip on the taboo topics, and you went into focus as your focus. Brilliant exposition of what can be done with the life. Maybe now have Amita, our own member Amita, coming forward. And the topic for Amita is someone you called up after a long, long time. Someone you called up after a long, long time. Amita?
Thank you, Thomas, sir. So I have a friend whom I called after a very long time. His name is Dhruv. He is 1.5 years old. And I'm astounded by how much that little guy can teach all of us. And it's not just me who he keeps calling through his dad's phone, being 1.5 years old. He keeps calling all of my other cousins. He's not just one of our small baby cousin. He is really our friend. One day, he just, out of the blue, he called us on a video call from his father's phone.
Hello? Hello?
Was thinking about all of the Zoom meetings that his father had as friends who were actually on the computer talking to his father. And he keeps learning new things, going to a kindergarten. And having a little bit of experience interning at a kindergarten, know that the child's minds work beautifully. And he memorized all the beautiful names of all the animals he knew. And he was asking me to buy him a dinosaur. And that's the little friend I really, really was happy with calling after a very long time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amita. I like the way you got me interested, empathetic, and then left me amused at the fairy tale that you created. But I thought finding a cousin who turns 1.5 years old teacher, kindergarten, I think you brought a lot of things into your small little story about a small little cousin of yours. Thank you very much. On to the next speaker, we have Balamurli. Balamurli, the topic for you, are you in, sir? Balamurli? Hello? Balamurli, can you hear me?
He's not in, sir.
Maybe move on?
Yeah, yes.
He's not in the list.
Venkateshan. Venkateshan? Hello, Venkateshan?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please tell us, if life were to be without challenges, the seas wouldn't have waves, would they? If life were to be without challenges, the seas wouldn't have waves. Toastmaster Venkateshan.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for the nice topic. If life were to be without challenges, the seas would not have waves. Life is full of changes, day by day, minute by minute, second by second. You should take it in a positive attitude. Then only you can withstand with all the challenges. The sea doesn't have waves, the earth will not function. That is the reason wherever challenges are there, we should face it. Instead of escaping from the challenges, it won't solve your problem. You have to face it. Either you should face it, all your personal problems, official problems in your life. Then only you can overcome with the full confidence and you succeed it. Life is full of problems. From the day one, as we born from a mother's, as we born the first day itself, life, the ending day will be counted. Nothing is permanent in this world. Like that, we should take it in a positive way. Then only we can face the challenges. We can face the challenges. Without challenge, life is not interesting. With the challenges, you can learn a lot of things. Like Albert Einstein said, less than 1,000 times he tried, but later he found that those ways you cannot find a tungsten for the bulb. We should take it in a positive way. Then only you can accept the challenges with full confidence. Thank you, Dr. Master.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, sir. You suggested that life being full of challenges, you must plunge into the waves to get over it, not to run away and be overcome it. And you also pointed out how Einstein's 999 challenges made him help the world see the light through the bulb. Thank you very much. On to the next speaker, our latest member of Medley, Pavitra Sridhar. Are you in, Pavitra?
Yes.
Here you are. Your topic is your best day in the last 70 days. Remember the taboo topics? Talk about this without using the taboo topics. Your best day in the last 70 days. Pavitra Sri.
All right. Thank you, Thomas sir, for the topic. Good afternoon, everybody. One of the best days in the last 70 days was the day we had a family chat over a Zoom call where we met everybody from every corner of the world, right from, I could see, grandparents to toddlers from the family on Zoom call, waving and having fun, making fun of each other. It was after a very, very long time that we're all seeing each other's faces. Even before this, we haven't met all of them, or we haven't seen their faces for a long, long time. But during these last 70 days, this chat got us all together. We were all chatting and, spending a lot of valuable, good time with each other and relishing the memories of our childhood and olden days. It was a very, very nice experience to see all of them face to face. A lot of them were talking about how they were cooking, they were doing different things, different hobbies. And there was a small little kid which told, I think the kid was around 2 to 3 years old. And the kid, which was my nephew, he was telling us a very, very nice story as well in the call. And I think that was one of the best days for me, because I've not seen my family come together in a very, very long time. And it was very, very fun to, see all of them, right from grandparents to toddlers in the call. Over to you, Thomas sir.
Thank you very much, Pavitra. So that was the day you found out the history of the world by the Pavitra and her family, bridging 70 years or 80 years, 4 generations, I guess.
Yeah.
Wonderful use of an instrument that we have discovered in the last 70 days, though it was around for a long time. I'm glad you did not fall for the temptation of using the taboo word. Over to the next speaker. I'll call upon Ms. Raghunath Nair. Are you in, sir? Raghu?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here is your pet topic. Isn't the waves that take you to new shows? Isn't the waves that take you to new shows? Raghu Nair, who has seen more shows than many of us.
Very good afternoon to all Toastmasters, and thank you for a wonderful topic, Toastmaster Thomas. The topic, it's the waves that take you to the new shows. That's something very close to me in the last 70 days, the past 70 days, which I have been with my family most of the time, while otherwise it was all the time in the office, like 80% in the office except the weekend. What fortunately happened was that around March 23rd, I got a call from my sister who is currently based in Dubai, saying that one of would-be family member is stuck in Chennai, who works with who works in High Court, the Chennai High Court, and she was staying in one of the hostels. And that's almost getting like with all the members living into their natives. And it was something which I've never met that girl at all. So one evening I go there and I meet Megha, who is like a very far relative I've never met. And the last two, and she came to stay with us for 10-15 days, expecting to return back to her native place in the near, like in 10 to 15 days time. But the kind of people who gets to your life all of a sudden is like, it's very, very different. But the time that she had been with us, where my 2 daughters enjoyed, it was an entirely a different feeling. And that's how the waves or the new people come to your life without any notice, but then plays plays a bigger role because we spend most of her big times like her birthday, one of our New Year celebrations. It was all together where we spend as a family, and it was a good experience in the last 70 days. Over to you, Thomas.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Raghu. So therefore, here in the story that you narrated with great affinity for the subject, you made the persons who dropped in the waves and the family and the things that happened around the family, the shores, a new way of presenting this metaphor. I must appreciate that. You also talked about how family became the fulcrum. And I got worried when you talked about 23rd March, but you sidestepped the minefield of the taboo topics. Well done. On to Pranav. Pranav, are you around? Pranav? Pranav, are you in?
He's not in.
All right. Then we move on to Toastmaster Periyasamy. Are you in, sir?
Yes, sir, I'm in, sir.
Okay. How would you like to talk about this topic? I'm sorry, I have a small little problem. Something you wish you should have done in the last 70 days. Something you wish you should have done in the last 70 days, Toastmaster Periyasamy.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the nice topic. Yeah, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. This is a wonderful topic. Actually, as Raghunath Nayas has said, I was spending my 80 to 90% of the time in the office. I couldn't spend much of my time with my children. Actually, they were a little bit worried, which I'm not able to spend the time with them, my daughter and son. These 70 days actually that's gained me a lot, because from the morning itself, from the morning to evening, I was able to spend my time with my children. Even especially in the evening, even in the evening after 5:30 to 7:30, I could able to play with them. It's like some of the games we used to play in the villages. Okay, those are the games I am able to teach them. I'm able to play with them. That's a really memorable thing, which is unforgettable thing to me. They also felt very happy. Even last 3-4 weeks, I started going to offices, but still they are asking me to play with them. But I'm finding the time. But evening somehow I'm spending the time with them. But this is a really memorable thing for me to play with them. That is the one thing. Then second one thing, even I learned a little bit cooking when I stayed at home. I was started to helping my wife. I learned a little bit cooking. I learned how to cook biryani. I learned how to cook chicken fried rice. So those are the things really memorable. Really great time to spending the time with my family. Then one more memorable thing is after a long time I called one of my college friend. Okay, we were not in touch. He was staying in Mumbai. I couldn't get his contact number for a quite long time. But during this time, I could able to speak with him because he was the foundation to me when during my college days. Okay, that was a great time spending with him because his aim was to clear the civil service exams, but due to some unfortunate situation, he couldn't do that. He was a founder and foundation for me and for my learnings. These three things are really memorable thing for me during those 70 days. Thank you very much, sir. Over to GTM Thomas, sir, table topic master. Thank you very much for your.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Periyasamy. What was to be a matter of regret in terms of what you wish you had done, you converted into a matter of joy. A proud father playing games, making a memorable times, cooking biryani. Remember that this is recorded, so we will ask for our pound of flesh one day, and talking to your friend. Thank you very much. Over to the next speaker. Next speaker is Shamala, Toastmaster Shamala. Are you in, Shamala?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes. Your question is this: what good has come out of the disruption to our lifestyle? What good has come out of the disruption to our lifestyle. Toastmaster Shamla.
Thank you. So I am in the evening college, so I get up really late because, thanks to the evening college, and then I come back home. And after college, I'm pretty much tired, and I don't, really give time to a lot of things which I love to do, basically. And one good thing which happened because of the disruption to my lifestyle is I'm being very honest here. I use my phone a lot. And my mom gets really, really tired of it. And she tells me, Shamda, stop using the phone and please spend time with us. And nowadays she's more emotional because I got placed in Hyderabad. And she blackmails me every day saying, Arey, just 2 months, Arey, just 1 month, you will be gone. So I think this time, I am using it to spend a lot of time with my parents. And she reminds me every day of all the beautiful things I've done as a kid, and when I hear about it, I'm like, oh my god, I was like that as a kid, really. And that's what is my first reaction towards it. And the next thing is, I have honestly learned the value of relationships, because at the age of 20, you just don't give time to a lot of things. You're busy with in your own world. Like, I am busy with my friends, my college, and everything. But now, all my cousins call me. And honestly, somewhere I feel that I have learned the value of relationships, time, love, and affection more during this period of time. So I would say this is one of the best things which have happened to me, considering the fact that I'm going to be going to Hyderabad in the next 2 to 3 months. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shamla. You are positive, but this is a new level of positivity to find all the virtues of the world, including teaching you the value of relationship, love, time on one of the taboo topics, namely the lockdown. Fantastic. You found how to balance phone and family. You found relationship that grew like a big ocean of cousins. Wonderful. You have reasons to praise the current times. Well done. You will live longer this way. Thank you. The next speaker is a one-time member, hopefully member again, Zakir Hussain. Zakir, are you in?
Yeah, I'm there, sir.
Okay, here goes for Zakir. The question. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Your question is, higher the hurdles, stronger the muscles. Higher the hurdles, stronger the muscles.
Oh, I'm not getting your screen, sir.
No?
I'm not getting a screen.
All right, thank you. I will. In the interest of time, can I read out and would you?
Yeah, please. Okay? Yeah, please.
Higher the. Hello.
Yeah, I'm getting you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make it this way. Can you see this? Let me try this.
No.
No, I'll get you. I'll get you. A book you read or a movie you watched in the last 1 month. A book you read or a movie you watched in the last 1 month.
A movie. I can talk about a movie. It's not a movie. Of course, it was a web series which I've seen and we have been following it up. Into the Night. It's a Belgian web story. And I was really impressed by the creativity of the author. The way, whenever the sun rises, generally we used to say the sun rises and gives life. But it is totally reverse here. Because of the polarity differentiation, the sun starts killing the people in the globe. So a soldier hijacks a plane with few passengers and he starts flying across the globe. Wherever they can go, they go, only at the night and take and fuel it, and they run for their life. Similarly, there a lot of things happens. The wonderful thing about that thing is making of the movie, web series, and the things they have brought about their nationalism, racism. They talk about the poor and the differentiation and cruelty and everything imbibed in that movie. I was really impressed. 5 to 6 episodes only, but it was a wonderful movie, and it gives an insight when a person wants to live. He takes care of himself, and he go to an extent, and he starts becoming like a human being and start accumulating all resources so that he can live. It was a wonderful idea and wonderful thought process. It was a nice movie. And of course, an amateur lady becomes a pilot at the need of the hour. That was one of the finest thing in the movie. Into the Night. Thank you.
Into the Night. Thank you very much, Zakir. I think, again, it verges on the fantasy. I thought a nice time to have dip into fantasy and escape the taboo topics and all that goes around it. Thank you very much. Friends, with this, I close, in the interest of time, I close the session here. I must compliment all of you that how you managed to get away from the temptation of talking about the present, which this topics would have been the answer, given you the opportunity. You did it very well. I appreciate your presence of mind. Back to the TMOD. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, TT Master. Wow, was it a TT session or a speech? It was a speech which had a TT session inside this, and it was very, very interesting. The best part was a taboo topic, which is very different from our regular meetings. We thoroughly enjoyed this session. Thank you so much. Now, it's time for us to vote for the best speaker. Before that, I request the timer to please give out the names of qualified speakers.
Today we had the speakers Ashwin, Shankar and Jagan give their speeches. Ashwin had a timing of 7 minutes and 3 seconds. Shankar overshot the time by about 43 seconds. He took 5 minutes and 43 seconds. And Jagan took 9 minutes and 48 seconds.
So we have 3 qualified speakers here?
No, we have 2 qualified speakers.
Okay. Their names, please?
Ashwin and Jagan.
Okay. It's clear now. It's clear now. Yeah. Coming back to my theme, kindergarten. Did you realize that we learned how to balance life when we were in kindergarten? It's so, once a child comes home saying, "Mom, today day was just awesome," and parents just smile back at the kid. Next day, the same child comes with, very bad mood. He says, "Today was the worst day. I did such a beautiful drawing. Teacher didn't even see that drawing. It was so bad of her." So what does the mother tells the child? She says, "No, dear, every day cannot be an awesome day. One day it will be good, sometime it will be bad. And trust me, nobody has seen that bad as much as you have seen it. So believe me, every day is not perfect. Learn to balance the life." It was then our parents told, when things go wrong with us, they said, "It's okay. One day is going to be good. One day is going to be bad. So let us have a balanced life." The best thing of the kindergarten is when we come out of the classroom, parent always says, "Hold our hands strong." I think that's the best praise, because even when we grow and we come to this world, it's so nice if we get to hold hands of our near and dear ones. We feel so safe. I feel all these lessons that we learn when we are in kindergarten, it is like a foundation which makes us so strong. It depends how strong we hold on to those values. With this, I would now call my general evaluator to give his report. Over to you, general evaluator, to go with the evaluation and the general evaluator.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Priya. So now we are starting the second segment of the evaluation process. That is, the first one was my introduction, and now we are entering the real evaluation session. Okay. Here we are going to evaluate, the evaluators are going to evaluate the speeches, and we will also give we will also get the report from the tag team. And finally, there will be report by me about the overall meeting, the conduct of the meeting. Now, the first speech was delivered by Toastmaster Ashwin Anand, and Toastmaster Ram Prasad will be evaluating the speech. And I think most of you don't need an introduction to Toastmaster Ram Prasad, because Toastmaster Ram Prasad is the past president of Medley and a very humble personality. And the one habit, because I'm talking about the habits, because I was asking them about one habit they picked up from the childhood, and they diligently following even today. So one habit which he picked up from his childhood was to never skip his breakfast, and then he diligently followed that habit even today. And if you ask me, my habit which I picked up from my childhood was not even skipping any food time for food. Okay, I'm diligently following even that today. So let me welcome Toastmaster Ram Prasad to evaluate Toastmaster Ashwin's speech.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Integrity, respect, service, and excellence. You all know what I am talking about. Those are the core values of Toastmaster. Today, Toastmaster Ashwin has given a speech where he lived up to these two values, integrity and ethics, from his childhood. This integrity is the foundation of every values that should be taught to every kid, even from kindergarten, which I feel. Let me explain what are the things which I have observed and liked from Toastmaster Ashwin's speech. There are three things which I liked. The first one, he has set the stage. So he has asked the question to the audience, which category you fall into, and he has hooked up the audience attention first. And the second, it was a storytelling. This entire speech was revolving around two stories, which one is from his childhood and one is in the recent times. Those two are the personal stories. So that personal story that adds the credibility to the speaker's speech. And in these two stories, he has explained how he exhibited the values, integrity and ethics, which he follows from his childhood, and how he live up to those values even right nowadays. The third thing which I liked is the excellent usage of quotes. He started the speech with the quote and ended the speech with Martin Luther King's quote, and even in between he has used William Penn's quote, and it was more appropriate. So when it is not intentionally introduced in between the speech, it was more appropriate, it was placed in the right places. The recommendation which I have for Ashwin is throughout the speech, I felt the phase of the speech was very fast. So in some places, I feel my internet connection is unstable and it is getting stuck, and it was more fast in his speech. So my recommendation is to reduce the phase of the speech. Maybe he can stick to one story, that only the story from his childhood, and explain how he exhibited those values, and that is one recommendation from myself. And the second recommendation is to stand and speak. So this is going to be the new norm or something which we are going to follow for so long. So holding a headphone mic, that will be a disturbance when you speak, and stand and speak, this is the recommendation for others speakers as well. That will give more advantage when you are giving a speech in any of the competitions or contests which comes in. Overall, it is a very good speech which I observed with a lot of good usage of codes and the audience connection. Looking forward to more speech from you, Ashwin. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Ram Prasad, for that crisp and concise evaluation. Now we are moving to the second evaluation. The second evaluation will be done by a person who continues the habit of fishing which he picked up from his childhood days, even today. And that is Toastmaster Rohit. Toastmaster Rohit is again a very active member of the Medley Toastmasters Club. He works with Cognizant and he's a Toastmaster who delivers very good speeches on very interesting topics. I remember one of his speech was on coffee, which I really enjoyed some time back. I invite Toastmaster Rohit to evaluate Toastmaster Shankar's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sunil Jose. So I'm glad that you still remember the speech on coffee. All right. All right. All right. Today, my target speaker Shankar delivered a fantastic speech on in the honor of his friend who is no more. So to begin with, he had a brilliant speech which had started with a quote, introduction and body and conclusion, all well organized. So this was a speech in honor of an individual and a very good friend of Shankar, who is no more. So to begin, this speech had the clarity. It had this clarity. It had all the ingredients to make it into a very good speech. It also told us about the harsh times, the elation, the perseverance, and the sympathy that eventually led into sowing the seeds to start a charity to make it into a heart-touching speech. So this speech was delivered on a very personal note to honor a friend who is no more. He had Shankar had an anecdote praising his friend who was instrumental in laying the foundations and getting his charity and charity for a social cause work, social work up and running. So, as of what I can understand, there was everything great about the introduction, the entire speech right through. So, one area of, straight away, let me get into the area of improvement where that he could have really worked upon that. Throughout the speech, the speaker, Shankar, was not focusing on the camera. I mean, your eyes were all over the place. So this actually reduced the impact of your speech. Since I do understand that this online meeting just restrict your body movements, but at least it doesn't at least there is some space for you to do some hand gestures to describe the total to describe the various events during the course of your speech, and also describe something about your good friend Mano. So all this was in thing, but I think this is the only thing that was lacking, and that going forward, I think you can cover it up in the future speeches. To conclude, your speech was just apt to honor somebody who was instrumental in starting a charity, We Can, which you are carrying it forward diligently, and you doing a great deed to the in uplifting the lower strata of the society. I think we all have a lesson or two to learn, that we all can do something, and we do have something in us. We do have something in us to do something for a social cause. I think this is something we can take. This is something we can take with us today from your speech. Thank you. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Rohit, for the very good evaluation given for Shankar's speech. Now we are moving to the evaluation of the third speech delivered by Toastmaster Jagannathan. The Toastmaster Jagannathan's speech will be evaluated by a person who carried forward the habit of not mincing words from his childhood. He says he actually realized this, but in his 20s only. Then, but of course, the Toastmaster experience helped him to blunting his bluntness. That was what he said. Now, how can I introduce him? So when I joined the Toastmaster fraternity 10 years back in Medley, he was literally an NRT. NRT means non-resident Toastmaster. So every year when he came down to Chennai for vacation, he used to visit us. So I was considering him as a non-resident Medleyan. So he is a chartered member of our club. DTM Sambat Saurirajan is the third evaluator. Ever since he returned to India, he has been an integral part of our club. A mentor to many Toastmasters, and he actively supports the fraternity in a lot of different ways. I invite DTM Sambat sir to evaluate Toastmaster Jagannathan's speech. Sir, can you hear me? Sambat sir?
Yes, just join now, sir. Can we just wait for 1 minute to join?
Shall we move?
With the next
Okay.
next
We should move to the
come
next
back later.
speaker.
Okay, Guru, are you ready? Okay. Okay, so now we will move to the evaluation of Jagannathan's speech later because DTM Sambat sir could not join because of some technical issue. Now, in addition to the three speeches, we had another evaluation of table topics session. So DTM Guru Prasad will be evaluating the table topic session presented by DTM Thomas Abraham sir. Today's TT session was it was in fact a project number 3 from level 3 of the PAT presentation mastery. The project name was active listening. So DTM Guru Prasad needs no introduction. He was a past president. He was an area director. He was a division director. He was a TLI chair. It is a special chair actually. Toastmaster Leadership Institute is a special chair. And he was also district runner-up in humor speech. And I don't remember. I lost count in fact. So what are the other speeches he did at the district level? I'm a big fan of his speeches, like most of you, because I enjoy his style of humor a lot. Now, what was the one thing he picked up from his childhood? He said reading. So reading was a habit which actually picked up from the childhood. The moment he told me, I thought it's like a reading science fictions or crime thrillers or nothing. It's simple, reading any paper which he gets. In fact, his wife was telling me like he used to stand in front of the scrap shops, to just to get the old kind of newspaper to read it. And one day it seems the nails were packed in one packet and came in. In fact, the plumber was waiting. So he opened that packet and started reading the newspaper, it seems. Such an avid reader, okay. I invite DTM Guru Prasad to evaluate DTM Thomas Abraham's TD session.
Thank you very much for your usual style of introduction, Sunil. I really loved the unknown attributes of myself being brought out to even unknown to me. Well, I begin my evaluation now. Timer, you can start logging only from now on. General evaluator of fellow Toastmasters and distinguished Toastmaster Thomas Abraham in particular. Well, this today is a kindergarten moment for me because this is the first ever time I am doing, even I am listening about evaluation of TT Master. We have done evaluation of TT sessions, meaning evaluators will come and give their opinion about all the speeches given in TT. Or they will even, I used to conduct education sessions on TT, but evaluating a TT Master itself is new for me. And only today, while reading through the project objectives of TT Master, I understood the real foundation of table topics is not just for the speakers to be ready for impromptu responses. It is also for the table topic master. TT session is considered to be an learning in listening skills of the TT master. That was a fantastic message that I got from Toastmasters documents. So let us see how did our TT master perform his role and met with his objectives. So not getting into the TT speeches per se, but I'd like to cover those speeches as well. So he started with a unique model, trying to introduce a model where he laid out some conditions in the form of taboo topics. Though we know about typical taboo topics laid out by the Sergeant Toms, these were different. Well, are they just fun? No, they are more than fun. I have an incident in one of the organizations I worked where one of my developers quit the organization because another person in a meeting, the project manager, used a word called stupid when describing about a code this guy had written or a style of coding that this guy had done. In fact, the project manager was not blaming this person as stupid, but he was only mentioning that the style of coding or the design concept was stupid. He took it very personal. He was a senior person. He was an asset to our organization. He quit the organization. Remember the power of taboo words. So I lost a particular table topic district level opportunity because of certain words or a small gesture I did in the speech, which was against the culture of another country who were listening to me. So it's always important to remember the taboo topics or certain guidelines whenever you go across globally meeting with various people. First understand. For example, in Greek, you are not supposed to show gesture like this. It is considered as a very bad sign. I really appreciate the way in which he laid out this kind of hidden rules that the speakers had to adhere. Then he delivered very many topics that forced them to get into those taboo topics, but carefully all the speakers really avoided getting locked into that topic and delivered them in a different context. So he also, as per the objective of his speech, he was following up, and in the end he was also giving some comment about the speech. Some of the nice words I appreciated while he delivered his sum up when closing particular speaker, inviting the other one is one of the places he says, this was a cornerstone of your speech. And second thing, he has here focus. Then he also
Hello.
There is some network issue.
Yeah. Yeah, we seem to have lost him.
Yes.
I am back.
Yeah, okay. So,
can we consider DTM Guru Prasad's evaluation is over?
no, not yet. Okay, I think we will go to Sambat sir by the time he comes by. I think you have time.
Okay.
I have time. Okay. So, Sambat sir, just once, Sharanya, please try to connect and to DTM Guru Prasad.
Sure.
Okay. I invite DTM Sambat Saurirajan to evaluate Toastmaster Jagannathan's speech. I have given you some introduction for others. I think for you, your introduction I'll give to you separately. Okay, so DTM Sambat sir, please, can you evaluate Toastmaster Jagannathan's speech? He's lost connection again. Okay, yeah. Okay, so Guru is lost his connection, internet connection, so he will complete this the evaluation right now to speakers. Okay, please go ahead. Yeah, can you hear? Guru, please.
Yeah, hello, can you hear?
So you guys can hear? Yeah, okay, carry on, Guru.
Okay. So, yeah, I really appreciate the way in which the diplomatic master gave his comments in the end, encouraging the participant and recognizing some subtleties, short things they delivered in their speech. On the other side, I have one or two comments about the way he delivered based on his objectives. Yes, of course, he had to be very attentive and be listening, but that was not eminent, because we are all seeing you in the camera, we are all watching you, and the speaker is expecting how you respond. But you seem to be a little busy and noting down the points, bending yourself onto the paper and making notes. But I would have been happy if you had just watched the camera or the speaker internally and recognized by a little nods or saying with a small gesture in your eye interface, just to show you that yeah, you are listening, you are really interested. Because when I used to deliver speeches in the live meetings, I used to watch and look for expressions coming out of my speakers. That's what keeps me motivated. So that was one small suggestion. Secondly, yes, sir, you really give very good comments, and some of the comments were a little lengthy. You started giving a commentary, not a sum up for the speech. You could have just given in one or two sentences your crisp understanding of the speech. Otherwise, the innovative idea, tempting the people to use the topics, but somehow carefully avoid them. Your sum up by recognizing key points of the speeches were very good. With a small correction in the name of being attentive to the audience and giving a crisp feedback would be better. On the lighter note, one more suggestion I have is you were too much reminding us about the taboo topics. Otherwise, we would have really had a challenge. Somebody would have let his tongue slip and deliver a taboo topic. That was a funny side of it. Thank you very much, DTM Thomas, for giving me the opportunity. Over to you, Chandra.
Okay, thank you, Guru. Thank you so much. Okay, now I think we lost the connections with DTM Sampath sir. So maybe I can connect the same way like I connected with Guru Prasad. Can we wait or? One second, I'll just connect to him. Give through phone, because Guru also lost the connection. We did that way. If you give through phone, I'll just connect to the Zoom room. No. You can tell me now. I'll put the speaker on. Yeah. Now, yes. So we can hear, right?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir. Please.
Okay, I'm here to evaluate CM Jagannathan's speech, the speech, the title of the value of the job study. The impact I had was overall it was very jolly flow. The speaker seemed to enjoy it with the first request for a very good speech. The message is a very good one, in my opinion. Why chase happiness? That's a little clarity because we can easily find happiness. I think the audience will give a good applause to him at this moment for doing a good speech with a good message.
Can't hear?
Audience, okay.
Yeah.
Now, the opening of the song, the Star the Red Story, the song was a good one, really good. The Red Story wasn't anything great, but it's okay. And the body of the speech was consisting of an outline of one main point, where is why chase happiness, supported by a lot of small independent zones. So it gave me a little bit feeling of disjointness, because so many points were there, different things were being told. And another thing I felt about the body is too many songs and too many languages. This could have been simplified to some extent. And also, another other languages used that even in speech, there should be some sort of explanation that everybody may not understand Tamil law. And the end of the speech was a bit tame in my opinion, but he tried to link the title nicely, title of the speech. Then coming to body language, quite decent, no need to overdo it. The brass guitar was very well used and the speaker was very comfortable with that, so that many problems. Because some points, I feel that they could get a better job with the voice, because for inspiring, voice can play a very good role. There was a bit of humor in the beginning and in between also. And regarding the stories and anecdotes, there are not very strong ones with impactful message and the grand story and the story on the language is very good. And what connects to the world is go to the rooftop and start seeing that he read out a series of home schools, spend time with their family, go for the hours, return the home and this. Following an urgent series of phone calls. It's okay, but the topic in a way would have been well solved if we use a refrain or what we call a foundational statement. The message itself is a very good one. Don't change happiness. That is a very good refrain if you have used. But the important point about this speech is the persuasive support he brought in and inspiring appeals he brought in. Especially suppose a couple of other tours were there, and there were some good home tours and that thing. But in terms of inspiring appeals, I didn't find a very strong presence. Because he could have thought about the people struggling to find happiness, and he could have empathized how to find it easy. Like, overall, it was a good speech, but I feel one important thing about this speech is, which I did not appreciate too much, is the speaker should speak and the prop should only do the support. Here the prop occupied a lot of time on and off, and in my opinion it sort of created a gap or distinctness during the speech. That spoiled the overall focus in my opinion. Jack, well done. Good luck and congratulations. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Sambat sir. We'll convey the same to him. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Now, I think the voice was feeble a little bit. I have recorded it. So I think we can, I can give this to Jagan, and Jagan also can reach to Sambat sir separately. So sorry if we had a little bit technical issues here. Anyway, now we will move on to the tag report. I think we're 448. Okay. So I request Toastmaster Rangarajan to give the timer report in a short and crisp way.
Good afternoon, everyone. I've already completed the preferred prepared speeches. Now let me move on to the table topics. Render took a time of 1.1 minute and 5 seconds. Kumar Mani took 1 minute and 31 seconds. Amita took 1 minute and 28 seconds. Venkatesan took 1 minute and 48 seconds. Pavitra took 1 minute and 52 seconds. Raghunath Nayak took 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Perisami took 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Shamla took 1 minute and 53 seconds. And Zakir Hussain took 2 minutes exactly. So all of them are qualified for table topics. As regards the evaluations, Toastmaster Ramprasad took 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Toastmaster Rohit took 3 minutes and 29 seconds. DTM Sampath Sourirajan took 4 minutes and 15 seconds. And DTM Guru Prasad took 5 minutes and 12 seconds, not including the break. So that completes my report. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Rangarajan. So let's move on to Toastmaster Sudha to hear the account report.
Thank you, G. Here is my account report. For the prepared speech session, Toastmaster Asmit Anand had clear speech. Toastmaster Shankar had 1 pass and 3 hands. Toastmaster Jagannathan had clear speech. Regarding table topic session, I faced frequent interruption in my connection, so I missed some of the speeches of table topic speakers, namely Renu Narayanan, Amita, Balamurali, Venkat, Pavitra, Sridhar and Raghunath sir speeches, and I recorded only Venkatesan, Periyasamy, Shyamala and Jagiri Sen sir speeches. Toastmaster Venkatesan had 2 passes and 2 repetitions. Toastmaster Periyasamy had clear speech. Toastmaster Shyamala had 2 R's, 4 ands and 2 you know. Toastmaster Jagiri Sen has 2 ands. Regarding evaluation session, Toastmaster Ram Prasad had clear speech and Toastmaster Rohit sir has 4 R's, 2 passes, 2 ands and 2 repetitions. I am unable to record the DTM Summer's speech as his voice was feeble. That was my counter report.
Thank you.
Over to you, GE.
Thank you, Sudha, for that short report. And we'll move to Toastmaster Saravanan for the grammarian report.
Thank you, G. Actually, there has been a good usage of words today, and I'm glad to be the grammarian today. And there have been a plethora of good usages of English. Okay, so some of the outstanding usages have been DTM Thomas for his presidential speech. He gave some of the good outstanding usage of English words: mental tonic, imaginary sound of invisible gavel, juggling the two, micro emotions, expressions and movements, epitome of grace and poise. These are all very good usage of words. And DTM Sunil Jose used blending his bluntness about DTM Sampath. And Toastmaster Ashwin used keep moving with ethics and integrity in his speech. And Jagannathan used very good words: brush aside, realization is tip of the iceberg, rationality, patience, hard work and freedom, no empathy for pain, package of thrill. And DTM Thomas, during his CT speech, he used words like cornerstone of your speech, verges on fantasy, exposition. And Toastmaster Pavitra, during her CT speech, used relishing memories of childhood. And Toastmaster Jagir used polarity differentiation. Toastmaster Ram Prasad used core values of Toastmasters. And these are some of the good usages of words. And then I have seen this word of the day, foundation, being used 11 times. So that is a very good usage of the word of the day, and people have keenly noticed. And today we introduced the word of the day during the session itself. So that means people are able to capture those word of the day and are able to use there in the speeches also. That is really good. And then the good thing I noticed is there is a lot of rhetorical devices being used. I wanted to point out to a few of the rhetorical devices used by the speakers. For example, DTM Thomas during his president's speech used Kanchivaram Sari and TM Modi. The comparison is very good. And then G. Sunil Jose used manufacturing defect I am unable to rectify. So on his voice, so it was very suddenly used, but I mean very aptly and appropriately used. And Toastmaster Ashwin used similarly like life is like a bicycle, keep moving. You have to balance between life and bicycle. So that's a very good simile usage. And then he used an anaphora that is used by Churchill. So I give credit to both Churchill as well as Ashwin. We shall go on to the end. We shall fight. We shall fight on the seas. These are all good anaphoras. And then Toastmaster Jagannathan used a plethora of things. Metaphor, he used trenches thirst for spiritual belonging. Then he used an alliteration, dancing, drumming, drinking. And then he used a hyperbole also. Connect to the world. The stars are billions of kilometers away. And then Toastmaster DTM Thomas used a simile, relations grew like a big ocean during his TT master speech. And then he also used the word family as a fulcrum for his metaphor. And then these are some of the good usages I have noticed, and some of the incorrect usage I have noticed is which can be corrected also. Second one thing, it can be second thing. Wonderful thing about the thing is, wonderful thing. And the time of the duration is 5 different companies. Happened to Manu also. So these are some of the things I noticed, but I mean, this can be corrected also. So this is overall my report, General Emergency.
Thank you, Saravanan. It was, I think it was like a grammar class for me. Sorry, the English class for me after attending DTM Thomas R's class. This was one of the most useful class. Okay, I have attended. So let me give my report today. All my team has completed their evaluations now. In fact, I should say we had a very lively and entertaining kindergarten class today, led by our teacher Priya. Sorry, lively and entertaining Toastmaster meeting today led by our TMOD Priya. So the principal, the teacher and teaching assistants and kids cooperated well. Surprisingly, kids also cooperated well to make the class extremely memorable. I'm not just saying this for the sake of saying, because we as usual, like we started again on time. Charanya started the class exactly at 2:55. because the principal DTM Thomas sir was watching. Okay, so and we had a very smooth flow. And one thing I liked is the role players did not overshoot their allotted time. Another thing is the Toastmaster of the day, Priya, had actually added a different perspective in the way she introduced the speakers and other role players. Normally, we just introduce whatever they say, we just say and we introduce. But this time, she collected it, and that was and then she made it into a quiz, and that was a completely different, approach. Kudos to Priya for that wonderful approach. Yeah, yes, that was very nice. And even I couldn't recognize the introduction which I gave to you. So finally, I was also assuming like it will be Ashwin or someone which was actually coordinated. Okay. So, and then we had speakers. We had 3 excellent speeches: a motivating speech by Ashwin, a touching speech by Shankar, and an inspiring and entertaining speech by Jagan. Jagan, we didn't know that you sing that well. For next time, please, Thomas, sir, arrange something like a separate singing session. I was almost like slept. And then a different kind of TT, and where that DTM Thomas was giving his observations about the speeches. That was really brilliant and different. Moreover, the taboo topics element was very interesting. Most of the time, my TT sessions these days were filled with these kind of words. And if you had asked me, I would have found it very difficult to give a speech today without these words. And then evaluators, very valid observations and very useful recommendations. Obviously, very crisp and short observations and recommendations. Kudos to my tag team for active listening and analyzing the speeches and time and giving a very crisp and excellent report. Now we had some technical issues. We could manage it well, but I think one lesson I learned, next time we lose the connection, immediately we have to switch on the speak and put the audio on. I don't know, it didn't happen for Guru's speech, but put the audio on. I actually shared in the Medley group itself that audio with the Medley group, so that next time onwards we can do. One of the persons can in touch with the speaker and switch on and record it, even if we can't hear it properly. Now, 3 observations I had. Timer, if you're using a buzzer, please unmute yourself every time so that others can hear. So some of the cases we couldn't hear, but we rectified it. Second thing, audience, all of the speakers, when you speak, before that, you pin the timer so that we also will not overshoot the time. And other than that, I really enjoyed it, different type of meeting. Thank you for the teacher and all the assistants and the kids for giving us such a valuable time. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Priya.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Indeed, it was a kindergarten session because we also had to dance and sing today. It went really very well. I'm very happy for that. And it's time for us to vote again. We have to vote for the best evaluator, tag, as well as a role player. I wasn't sure who all got qualified for evaluation. Can you please mention who all are the 2 evaluators? Okay, so if you got it very clear, okay, no problem, we go for it. Then in tag we have timer, accounter, and grammarian. You need to vote for them. As also for the role player, we have TMOD, GE, and TT master. Let me make it clear, it's not yet over. Teacher has some more job and the kids have to answer my question. Now coming back to the serious note, I want you all to unmute because I want to check if your IQ is better than a kindergarten. Are you all ready? Unmute yourself. Okay, and I want you all to give answer. The only condition here is think as a kindergarten kid, not as a grown-up. My first question is, where do cows go for entertainment? Shamali, you can give this answer.
Streets.
Where do cows go for entertainment?
Streets. Indian streets.
No, I'll give you a hint. Cows. What do cows do?
Moscow.
Movies. Cows go to movies. I told Shamal, I give you a hint. Okay. Why couldn't the pony sing? Pony is a small horse. Why couldn't a pony sing?
Pony.
Pony, yeah. Small horse is known as pony. Try. It's okay. Thomas, sir. Okay. It couldn't sing because she was a little horse, She had a horse. It's very simple. I really, it's tough. It's not easy to pass the kindergarten. Okay. Now the next question is, this is very simple. What's Snake's favorite subject? Snake's favorite subject. What does a snake do?
History.
Very good. Who gave me that answer? Who was the one? Who was it? Hey, Ranganathan sir. Yes, he did the big. So you are the only person who passed this kindergarten. Next question
I'm
is.
still there.
So this is the one. What's the worst thing about throwing a party in space? You know, aerospace, space. What's the worst thing throwing a party in a space?
You can't keep your feet on the ground.
Sir, that is too much of a technical answer.
The drink will spill.
Oh God, yeah. Okay, I can take that answer. Anyone? Because it's tough to organize a party because you have to plan it. You know, plan it. I told you all, right? Now, this is a very interesting one. How does the ocean say hello? Every day you go to ocean, it says hello.
It waves to you.
Very good, yes. With this, I'll be able to finish my question answer session. Let me tell you the very few things important things we have been learning from our kindergarten. First is play fair, clean up your own mess, don't hurt others, and hold hands. When you come out to this outside world, it's very important you hold your loved one's hands. With this note, it's time for me to wrap up. I had a wonderful time. I'll pass on this to our presiding officer, DTM Thomas Abraham.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priya. Thank you, all the role players. I'm not going to say all the good truth that both my colleagues have just now spoken, so I will not repeat myself. I will move on to getting to hear it from the guests. Do we still have Mr. Kumar Mani with us?
No.
I doubt it. Zakir, are you still with us, right? Could you unmute and tell us what is different about today? Zakir?
Yes, sir. Today, first time I can see the TT was also TT Master was also evaluated. That was one good thing. And in spite of all sort of hiccups, we were able to do the things on time. That was good thing. And many more thanks for the critical thinking from Priya ma'am. Priya has given a very critical thinking. Because sometime back I was doing a course on critical thinking, so this comes into that. Okay, that was a nice thing.
Okay, thank you, Zakir. I will quickly, without getting very late, I'll quickly tell you about an important meeting that's coming up. 4th of July is a milestone. It is Medley's 575th milestone meeting. It's also the day the new XCOM will be installed. Therefore, please block your date, don't travel, join that meeting. Secondly, one quick word. Some of you had given your name for slots, speech slots. We got 22 slots required. We are able to accommodate only 20 because 11th, 18th and 25th Saturdays, we will have 4 slots each. Plus, we will have a speakathon. That my colleague Raghu will give you communicate the details. Lastly, we also have a debate on 12th with DXC Chennai. Same time, 3 o'clock on 12th. That's all I had to communicate. Do we now have the awards to announce? We will go with it. Thank you very much. I think it was, like my colleague so eloquently said, it was an enjoyable meeting, except that not many could participate and take the benefit of that. Sharanya, could you unmute?
Yes, let me share my screen.
Oh, good, thank you. So here are the winners. Best speaker, the musical Jagannathan. Congratulations. Best table topics, Renu, who talked about the new skills she learned. Again, I'm launching into my speech, sorry. And the best evaluator, Ram Prashad. Then tag player, Saravanan, the grammarian, and the role player of the day, no surprises, Toastmaster Priyadarshini. Wonderful. Each well deserved. Thank you very much. Hereby declare closed meeting 571 with yet another invisible gavel.
Thank
Thank you
you.
all.